Ruth Eisman Scheer. The distinction of being the first woman ever placed on the FBI's 10 Most Wanted Fugitives list belongs to Ruth Eisman Scheer, a Honduran German national. She was added to the list on December 28, 1968. Her inclusion stemmed from her involvement in the high-profile kidnapping and extortion of Barbara Jane Mackle, the heiress to a real estate fortune. In December 1968, Eisman Scheer and her accomplice, Gary Christ, buried Ms. Mackle alive in a fiberglass box for over 3 days, demanding a $500,000 ransom. This harrowing crime captured national attention. Eisman Scheer remained at large for 79 days before her apprehension in Norman, Oklahoma, in March 1969. She was subsequently convicted and sentenced to a 7-year prison term. Marie Dean Arrington. Less than 5 months after the first woman appeared on the list, Marie Dean Arrington, an American, became the second. Added in May 1969, Arrington was a convicted murderer who had achieved notoriety for her audacious escape from a Florida prison hospital. She had been sentenced to death for the murder of a public defender, whom she reportedly blamed for a previous conviction. Arrington's criminal record was extensive, encompassing charges of robbery and kidnapping prior to her murder conviction. Her time as a top fugitive lasted for a comparatively brief 29 days, ending with her recapture in December 1971 in New Orleans. Her case underscored the FBI's commitment to pursuing dangerous escapees. Angela Yvonne Davis. In August 1970, the list welcomed Angela Yvonne Davis, an American political activist whose addition sparked considerable national controversy. Davis, a prominent philosopher and associate of the Black Panther Party, was placed on the 10 Most Wanted list on August 18, 1970. She was charged with kidnapping, murder, and conspiracy in connection with a violent courthouse shootout in Marin County, California. During this incident, a judge and 3 others were killed using firearms reportedly registered in her name. Davis immediately became a fugitive, polarizing public opinion and becoming a symbol for both radical movements and government overreach. After 67 days on the run, she was apprehended in New York City in October 1970. Her subsequent trial, which garnered international attention, resulted in her acquittal on all charges in 1972. Bernardine Ray Dorn. The same tumultuous period saw the inclusion of Bernardine Ray Dorn, an American, on October 14, 1970. Dorn was a leading figure in the Weather Underground, a radical left-wing organization responsible for numerous acts of domestic terrorism, including bombings. She was wanted for conspiracy, bombing, and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution for her alleged involvement in these destructive activities. Notably, Dorn was never apprehended by the FBI. Instead, after spending over a decade living clandestinely, she voluntarily surrendered to federal authorities in December 1980. She was removed from the 10 Most Wanted list in December 1973. When federal charges against her were dismissed, those state charges lingered, for which she eventually pleaded guilty to misdemeanor offenses. Catherine in Power. Sharing connection to the radical movements of the early 1970s, Catherine in Power, an American, was added to the 10 Most Wanted list on October 14, 1970. Power was sought for her involvement in the 1970 armed robbery of a bank in Brighton, Massachusetts, during which a Boston police officer was fatally shot. A student at Brandeis University and an anti-Vietnam War activist, Power, along with her accomplice Susan Edith Sachs, went into hiding. Power's time as a fugitive was exceptionally long, spanning 23 years. During this period, she lived under assumed identities and established a new life. In 1993, at the age of 44, she made a decision to surrender to federal authorities in Oregon, accepting responsibility for her past actions. She subsequently pleaded guilty to manslaughter and armed robbery and served 6 years in prison. Susan Edith Sachs. 3 days after Catherine in Power, Susan Edith Sachs, an American, was also added to the FBI's 10 Most Wanted Fugitives list on October 17, 1970. Sachs was Power's accomplice in the 1970 fatal bank robbery in Brighton, Massachusetts, and similarly became a fugitive following the incident. Unlike Power, Sachs's time on the run was significantly shorter but still substantial, lasting 5 years. She evaded capture until 1975, when she was apprehended in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Sachs was subsequently convicted for her role in a robbery and the murder of the police officer, receiving a sentence of 7 years. Her case, alongside Powers, exemplified the FBI's pursuit of individuals involved in politically motivated violent crimes of that era. Donna Jean Wilmot. A significant hiatus of 17 years passed before another woman was added to the list. Donna Jean Wilmot, an American, joined the 10 Most Wanted on February 11, 1987. Her inclusion stemmed from charges of conspiracy, harboring fugitives, and possession of explosives. Wilmot was a member of the Armed Forces of National Liberation, FALN, a Puerto Rican nationalist organization, and was wanted for her involvement in a plot to assist fellow FALN member Oscar Lopez Rivera in escaping federal prison. She remained at large for 7 years before being located and arrested by federal agents in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in December 1994, along with an accomplice. Wilmot's capture highlighted the FBI's enduring investigative efforts in complex domestic terrorism cases. Shawnee Henderson. Following another lengthy period, Shawnee Henderson, an American, marked the first female addition to the list in 2 decades when she was added on March 29, 2007. Henderson was wanted for murder in connection with a fatal shooting in Kansas City, Missouri. Her time as a top-tier fugitive was remarkably brief. Less than 24 hours after her placement on the 10 Most Wanted list, she was apprehended. This swift capture, largely facilitated by public awareness generated by the list, underscored the program's effectiveness in rapid fugitive apprehension. While later acquitted of the murder charge, she was convicted of lesser charges, including voluntary manslaughter and armed criminal action. Brenda Delgado. The year 2016 saw 2 women added to the 10 Most Wanted list, starting with Brenda Delgado, a Mexican national, on April 6, 2016. Delgado was wanted for capital murder in Dallas, Texas. She was accused of orchestrating a murder-for-hire plot, leading to the death of Dr. Kendra Hatcher, a pediatric dentist, motivated by jealousy over a romantic rival. Delgado fled to Mexico to evade arrest. The FBI offered a substantial reward for information leading to her capture, emphasizing the severity of her alleged crime. After a 9-month international manhunt, she was apprehended in Torreon, Mexico, in October 2016 and subsequently extradited to the United States. She was later convicted of capital murder and sentenced to life in prison. Shanika S. Minor. Just 2 months after Brenda Delgado, Shanika S. Minor, an American, became the 10th woman to be listed on June 28, 2016. Minor was wanted for murder in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, following a dispute over loud music that escalated into a fatal shooting of a pregnant woman. After the incident, Minor immediately absconded. Her period as a top fugitive was exceptionally short. Within 3 days of her addition to the 10 Most Wanted list, she was apprehended in Fayetteville, North Carolina. This rapid capture exemplified the intensified pressure and coordinated law enforcement efforts that accompany a placement on the FBI's most prominent fugitive list. She was subsequently convicted of first-degree intentional homicide. Ruja Ignatova. The digital age introduced a new category of complex financial criminality to the list, personified by Ruja Ignatova, a Bulgarian-German national, who became the 11th woman added on June 30, 2022. Known widely as a crypto queen, Ignatova is wanted for her role as the founder of the OneCoin cryptocurrency scheme, an alleged pyramid scheme that defrauded investors worldwide of an estimated $4 billion. Ignatova disappeared in 2017 and remains at large, making her one of the most significant and elusive white-collar fugitives currently sought by the FBI and Interpol. Her case highlights the challenges of pursuing criminals operating in the complex global financial technology landscape. Cindy Rodriguez Singh. The most recent addition to the selective list is Cindy Rodriguez Singh, an American who became the 12th woman designated as a 10 Most Wanted Fugitive on July 1, 2025. She is sought for capital murder in Everman, Texas, in connection with the death of her young son, Noel Rodriguez Alvarez. Authorities allege that she murdered her son and subsequently fled the country, potentially with her other children. Singh's case carries a heightened urgency due to the suspected involvement of children and her international flight. As of this presentation, Cindy Rodriguez remains at large, with the FBI actively pursuing leads and offering a significant reward for information leading to her apprehension. Her inclusion underscores the FBI's unwavering commitment to pursuing individuals accused of heinous violent crimes, even across international borders.